Hi, good evening everyone. I hope all of you are doing good. Many of you are writing the answer on a daily basis. More than the 60 students are writing on daily basis. It's a good one for all of you. So today is the day 12. We will discuss the geography question from the GS1. In this week, we will discuss the all geography question, one on a daily basis. So this is the day 12, and today is the second geography question we are discussing. Today's question is from the UPSC 2021 paper, and it's a 10-mark question. It was appeared in the 2021 UPSC paper. So the question was, what are the environmental implications of the reclamation of the water body in urban lands use? Explain with example. What are the environmental implications? First of all, we need to know about the environmental implication of the reclamation of water bodies into urban land use. Explain with example how the misuse of the water body, or we can say the drying up of the water body, or the increase in the BOD demand of the water body impacting the environmental effect, having the environmental effects in the urban land. I hope all of you are aware about the Chennai floods, aware about the Hyderabad flood, and even the Mumbai flood also. So these floods, known as the urban floods, and these are specifically because of absence of the mainly the water body, absence of the drainage system in these states. So in this question we will address all these issues related to the water bodies, how the use of the water body impacting the urban land use. Okay, so here the question is having the only the one demand. We need to write about the implication. We need to write about the implication, specifically the environmental implication. As usual, the question, we will address the question in the three parts. First is the introduction, second is the body part, and the third is the conclusion part. In the introduction part, how you can start? In these kind of the question, you can start in the two way. One, you can quote the data, like in Bangalore, there was more than 200 lakes in 1960, 1970, but nowadays only the 10 lakes are remaining. Similarly, in the Ahmedabad, only the 50-60 lakes are remaining out of the more than 150 lakes. The second way to address the introduction in this question, you can focus on the recent news. You can start with the recent Hyderabad floods due to the misuse of these water bodies, due to the drying up of these water bodies, due to the increase in the water demand, increase in the silt in these water bodies, and will lead to the various environmental impact. So you can address in two ways. One way you can quote the data, second way you can start with the recent example. Okay, so I hope the introduction is clear to everyone. In the introduction part, we will write about the recent floods of the Hyderabad, Chennai, you can quote there, even the floods of the Bangalore, specifically due to the lakes, drying up of the various lakes, or the filling up of the various lakes, or making of the urban infrastructure there. So we can write in the introduction these things. And it will be better if you write about the sum of the data in the sum of, like you can represent the data in a figure. You can represent the data in the form of smart art, like the lakes in Bengaluru, lakes in Ahmedabad, and in Hyderabad also, about the water bodies. You having certain data, you can write in the answer itself. So we have some data here which are related to the water bodies. So declining water bodies in the Bengaluru, There were 262 lakes in 1960. Now only the 10 lakes are remaining in the Bengaluru. Then in the Hyderabad, it lost almost the 3,400 acres of the land, wetlands. And similarly in the Ahmedabad, there was only 137 lake in 2001, but now it's decreased to further the 65 lakes. So we can see the declining trends in the water body, declining trends in the wetland. So these declining trends in the water body, the declining trend in the water bodies, wetlands, having a negative implication on the environment. So we need to list out those negative implications. And we are specifically attached to the environment. We will write about the environmental impact. Okay. And the question is asking specifically about the example. Explain with example. So there can be the various implications, like the biodiversity loss you can write. Increase in the biological oxygen demand of the lake. Fragmentation of the species. Vegetation loss of the species. Urban heat island, heat dome. You are reading in the news the heat dome, which is mainly because of the increase in the infrastructure in the urban area and the decreasing of the water body. But all these required example to fulfill the condition of the answer. If you are not writing the example, you will get only the 1 or 2 marks out of 10. If you are quoting the example, you will get the 4 or 5 marks. So here the real-time examples are the major requirement of the question. With the each point, each environmental impact, you need to write the example. Clear? Anybody can tell me any example in India about any environmental implication? कोई भी. Chennai floods के time पे, Bengaluru floods के time पे, even in the example in the Assam, Telangana, West Bengal, they are the various example. Ankit, yes, it can be the Dal Lake, Uttarakhand flash floods. Yes, it can be the also. So they are even the much more example here. So let's discuss one by one which are the major example. Please try to write these examples in the answer. If you have the pen and copy near you, please try to write it. So here are the environmental implications. Number 1, environmental hazards. The misuse of these lakes, the misuse of these water bodies, drying up of these water bodies, or making the urban infrastructure nearby to these bodies is lead to the environmental hazards. According to the NDMA reports, National Disaster Management Authority, the more than the 31% of the India area is urbanized, which lead to the degradation of the 71% of the wetland in the country. So you need to be write these kind of example, and the Mumbai floods is the real-time example of the environmental hazards in the last year 2022. So we are quoting the NDMA report, we are quoting the data, and we are giving the example of Mumbai floods. So this is the demand. Only writing about the environmental hazards will not complete the demand of the question. So there should be clarity what is the main demand of the question. Next is the water scarcity. If there is a degradation of the lake, there is a decrease in the wetlands, that will lead to the water scarcity in the area. And there are many examples of the water scarcity. Even in the case of the Punjab, even in the case of the various southern states, in the case of the Maharashtra, there are the many of the examples related to the water scarcity. And the mostly we quoted here the Badkal Lake in the Faridabad. It's dried up. There is a metro station is also on the name of the Badkal, but the Badkal Lake is dried up, and the Faridabad is fighting with the issue of the water scarcity. So you need to be right about the example here, Badkal Lake, the real-time example in the Faridabad, and the city is facing the water scarcity issue. And then the biodiversity loss. Next point you can write about the biodiversity loss. How it can be the biodiversity loss? Like it may be due to the habitat loss. Many of the fishes in the water bodies, they are destroyed. If the water body is drying up, this is directly impacting their habitat. Some other microorganism in the water. Fragmentation loss. Sometimes these lakes, these wetlands are the connecting between the two ecosystems. Connection between two ecosystems that lead to the fragmentation loss. It can also lead to the loss of the species. It leads to the increase in the biochemical oxygen demand. And the example of this biodiversity loss, it can be seen in the Vembanad Lake. Vegetation loss in the Vembanad Lake. So you need to be write the example like the Vembanad Lake, then the Badkal Lake, water scarcity, Mumbai floods, environmental hazards, heat dome. If you reading the newspaper, you can quote the Supreme Court judgment. He referred the Delhi as a gas chamber. Even some of the area in the NCR region. Why these are environmental issue are in the present time? Maybe environmental issue of the water bodies loss, issue of the wetland loss. So the heat dome, urban heat islands. Example you can quote Delhi and Gurugram. Then about the landfills. We are throwing our kachra in the land. We are throwing the waste in the Yamuna. Even the sewage water is going into the Yamuna. Industrial effluent is going into the Yamuna. You can see the froth formation in the Yamuna, which are leading to the biodiversity loss, which is leading to the increase in the heavy metal content, which is also lead to the habitat loss of the organism, which may further connect with the various kind of the disease those who are living nearby. This is also the impact of the degradation of these wetlands. Then the landfills. If we are throwing the multiple kind of the things in these lakes, then after some time period, there is increase in the chemical toxicants. Chemical toxicants increase into the water bodies. Like it's the increase in the lead, increase in the aldehydes, increase in the hydrogen oxides. And the major example you can write here, the Assam, Guwahati Devpur Bale Lake is the major example of these landfills. The Palikarni marshland in Chennai, Chennai floods के time पे बहुत न्यूज में था. These lead to the environmental impacts. Then the pollution, heavy metal pollution. Even in the NCR regions, when there are last 30-40 years, there were various lakes in this area. But now all are disappear, and this is one of the reasons the increase in the pollution level in this NCR area, increasing in the heating islands in this area. And we can also write the example of the West Bengal high level of arsenic pollution, plastic to the heavy metal pollution, and some of the example related to the degradation of the landscape. If we are damaging the wetlands, it's also impacting the landscapes. Illegal mining की वजह से हो सकता है, mining nearby to the wetland area. Real-time example you can tell in the Jaisalmer, Jodhpur, Jasmine Lake in the Jodhpur. You can write in this example. So if you're quoting the 6-7 environmental implication with example, you can get the 5-6 marks here in this type of the question. These are the direct one. But you need to write the examples which are related to the environmental implication. So in the introduction, we can start with the data, even we can start with the recent incident. Any environmental implication, recent environmental implication. In the body part, we need to list down the environmental implication with example and what is the major cause behind it. we will write. Then we can also write the way forward here. In 2-3 lines or in the some sub points, we can write about the way forward. How we can manage it. We can increase the people participation. Afforestation near to the wetlands, near to this degradation of area. तो वहाँ पे afforestation होना चाहिए, so we can prevent the wetlands. जो older wetlands थे उनको survive करना होगा. These in the way forward you can suggest. Even you can write about some of the case study you know in it. Like the recently in Delhi, the Delhi government restored 2-3 lakes which were dried up. You can mention in the example. Then in the conclusion what you can write, or any government committee was set up for these wetlands or these lakes, for protection of these wetlands and the lakes. You can also write in the way forward. Okay. So now in the conclusion what we will write? In conclusion we will write water is very important for the life. If we are continuing damaging these wetlands, we are continuing impacting these wetlands, we are impacting these lakes. So there will be a water scarcity, there will be a urban floods, there will be the another environmental impacts which finally lead to the damage to the human beings. And the example of the water shortage in the country, even in the high metals level in the Punjab, Haryana region, you can mention there. Hi Sandeep, this issue you can connect with our Edukemy support, help@edukemy.com. आप वहाँ पे बात कीजिए इसके बारे में. This is not a right platform to discuss these things. Okay, so any other doubts related to this question? Ankit, Mohit, Ankita, Soumya, Sandeep, Piyush, Parveen, Ashish, any doubt? Okay, so this is all about the question. If we are new to this platform, we are daily discussing one previous year's mains question. You can write your answer and you can submit to the Edukemy portal. These answers will be evaluated by our expert mentors and you will get a evaluated copy. So this is a daily process and this will be continued till this mains. So you have a great idea about how to write the answer, how we can use a different kind of the example, how we present our answers there. So we are also starting our GS main support program related to it. In the GS main support program, we are providing you the many various kind of the initiative. You are getting the practice test, so you will be like perfect in writing the answer. In the practice test, we are giving you 20 questions with answer, so you can learn those answers and you can reproduce them on Thursday. We are even also providing the solution of all the previous year question from 2013 to 2022. All the tests will be followed by the test discussion also. And we are also providing the one-to-one mentorship, on which we can specifically focus on the particular students. This also includes the essay, the 2 essay in the test series itself. So this is a comprehensive program. This is not only test series. This is a support program that will help you to write the good answer in the next 3 months. But a term and condition, if you are ones who completed their GS foundation course, those only can join. Okay. So we will meet tomorrow again at 6 p.m. again with the new geography question. So please try to write the answer and submit to the Edukemy portal. Okay, thank you very much.